Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we are. And here we are, folks. Episode number 55 of the Truth Quest, full disclosure. And we're still working on the full disclosure part, and that means with everything, not just aliens and UFOs, but the whole 9 yards. Everything, everything, everything. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want you to feel free to like, share this broadcast, and get the word out on full disclosure. I'm sharing it out myself, so I'm going to put a link in the description here as soon as I get this thing squared away. We are live. Okay, that should get the point across. What do you think? All right, I hope you folks are doing fine this fine evening. I had the great pleasure of speaking with two very awesome journalists tonight. I got to speak with the famous, oh, look at my little background. Quite frankly, and also my good friend Red Pill 78. So I got the great pleasure of calling in and getting in on both of those shows tonight. So a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun talking to Frank, and a lot of fun talking to the two Zachs, Zach Voorhees and Zach Payne, the corruption detector. You gotta love that title, the corruption detector, right? He's exacting pain on the deep state. They both the Zachs are. They're both exacting pain on the deep state, and much deserved pain, I would say. Of course, if you haven't heard of Zach Voorhees, look him up. He's got a new book out called Google Leaks. I think googleleaksbook.com is his website, so go check it out. Get that book for everyone on your gift giving list, and let's get this word out. He's the guy that he worked at Google, and he really liked Google, what they stood for. But after this 2016 election, they completely switched, and they started to mess with what people saw, and he didn't think that was right. So he gathered together 950 top secret internal documents and left the company, and made all of those documents public. Now, he says in the book that he reveals things in the book that he was not able to say in some of the interviews that he has had. So, yeah. So I'm going to put the, I think I have to move this over here so I can see the chat. Yeah, I don't have a streaming, hello, Rat X Mud Rabbit. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, gang. Hi, fam. That's better, huh? Hi, fam. And let's see. Yeah, Zach Voorhees. I'm anxious to get that book. I want to read that book. It's just amazing what's happened in the last few years. It's amazing what's come out, and all the whistleblowers. Very, very thankful for the whistleblowers, because without them, we wouldn't know very much, you know? We just would not know very much. Like most of what we know has come from whistleblowers. So, and that's true for the UFO thing too, right? That's right. Hey, Mud Rabbit, I'm glad you're back. Here's the Zoom information if anybody wants to call in. Thank you for tuning in. Boy, I still, you know, this whole variant thing, it's such a farce. I can't believe, you know, fool me once, fool me twice. You know, how many times are people going to allow themselves to be fooled? It just blows me away. I mean, people just must not have very much upstairs anymore. No discernment. Of course, there are people waking up every day. And, you know, I was asleep at one time. I'm sure most of us were. It's been a long, long awakening. Hey, Celestial Soul. How you doing? Glad to see you there, everybody. And let's see here. Move this up so I can see everything that's going on. I got to get some kind of streaming software, but I think I need a new computer first. Let's see. Okay, let me see if that is going to be too much to put in. Hey, Color Fab. No brain power. Yes, people aren't exhibiting very much brain power, are they? No. There's a whole bunch of information there. If you like the show, you can always do that. And I got a new t-shirt shop I'm working on. And I'll drop a link to that in a little bit. Hi, Divine Tiffany. You're new. Well, glad to see you here. Welcome anytime. Hi, Color Fab. Yeah, everyone's welcome here. Everyone is welcome. We talk about disclosure. We talk about lots of different things. You know, Zach Voorhees said he would take the JAB if they threatened to take away his iPhone. I hope he doesn't. I mean, I hope a lot of people retain their God-given DNA. Hey, Kelly George. Yeah, all is well as well can be. Tiffany's a regular on Jacob's channel. Well, welcome, Tiffany. I love your lamps, by the way, those lamps that you make. Very, very nice. Divine Tiffany lamps. I think that would be good. Add your first name to it. But yes, Tiffany lamps. I think that when are people going to stand up and say no? You know, that's why I invented the Invisimask. And a lot of you know about the Invisimask, of course. Something I labored over for many days, hours in the lab, sweating, laboring, working on that electron microscope that I made myself in my garage. And I was able to, with nanoparticles, design and build many, mass produced, in fact, many, millions, in fact, of these invisible, completely invisible masks that work with your immune system They do not inhibit your breathing because they're nanoparticles. That's why the weave is so small, see? Protects you from everything. And trickiest part was getting that elastic to stay invisible, because sometimes it would be visible when it stretched. But I finally got that figured out. And then I thought, you know what? I could make millions selling this. And indeed, I did sell a few. But then I thought, you know what? I felt guilty. I can't make money from this, even though I spent numerous hours on it. I decided that I'd do the only thing I could do, and that is build a teleporter and teleport one to everyone's face, which I did. So, and that's why you see people walking around with no masks. The ones that are still wearing masks haven't found out about the Invisimask yet, because you can't feel it when it goes on you, okay? It's self-cleaning, you never need to take it off. It doesn't pull on your ears, so you don't have to worry about getting Dumbo ears, like with those conventional masks. And when people ask you, is your mask, hey, I have the state-of-the-art Invisimask on. Can't you see? Oh yeah, it's invisible. Hello? Because to fight an invisible illness, you need an invisible mask. Logic. Pure logic. Yes, Tiffany lamps are beautiful. So that's what I did. And you're welcome, everyone. You are very welcome. And, you know, it's the least I could do. I teleported one to everyone's face. So everyone has one. Everyone was biolocated by the teleporter, and one was put on everybody. They're self-cleaning, never need to take them off. And you can, food goes right through them. So you don't have to worry about it. Yes, Mud Rabbit. You love yours too? Awesome. Yeah, we need more testimonials to get the word out, because there's a few stragglers out there still thinking that, you know, a cloth mask is going to be better than the nanoparticle mask they already have on. Hello? So let's help our friends out and tell them about the Invisimask that they already have. All right? Let's just do that, okay? Now let me see. Invisimask. I even did a couple videos about it. So if you look on my my YouTube channel and scroll down quite a few, you know, quite a few notches down, yes, you will find that. All right. All righta. And I've got this little t-shirt shop. Well, it's t-shirts and hoodies and all kind of cool things. Let's see. Let me get a couple of them up here so you can see them. And let's see here. Where's the other one? La, 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 la. Okay. That one's maybe a better one to show. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Just me here and my fabulous mods, the best mods in the world. Fantastic people. And I know fantastic people. These are fantastic people. Mud Rabbit, great mod. Hit the like button, everybody. Yeah, we got 1,300 people watching. Oh, I was 13. 1,300 any second now. And so we got 4 likes so far that I can see. I guess I'm going to like it. I got the 5th one. Can you like your own? Oh, now it's 6. Look at that. See the power of suggestion. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, I'm going to do a little screen share here. How does that sound? That'll spice things up a bit, won't it now? Okay, now here is a couple of designs on my new t-shirt shop, okay? So it's on, I'll drop a link in there. I have to like put it up there and get the link up there or something like that. However you do that, I gotta figure that out. So yeah, I had a couple of Teespring shops, but they took my shops down, and they won't restore them. So I found another place. So we'll see if this one works now. So there's just a couple examples of some of the t-shirts. Those are like tie-dye. There's different styles of tie-dye you can pick. There's normal, colors and things like this. So you want to help bring disclosure. One of these t-shirts going to do it for you. And those are the tie-dye kind of fun. Yeah. So that's what that is. You like the one on the right with the little Q, the Truth Quest logo with a big Q on it? Yeah, I kind of like that too. I think I'm going to change my background here to one with the with that logo on it, because I like that logo. That's the one I use on my channel too. So and I use it on my Rumble account. So yeah. The one on the right, yeah. Okay, I guess I got to find that shop now. So it's on Store Frontier. Okay. Let me get this up, and then I'll share the link there in the chat so you all can take a look at it. It's coming up here. My computer isn't running the swiftest. Okay. View my store. I guess that's what I have to do. Okay, for some reason it's not. Oh, here it comes. I'm just going to share the URL. What do you call that thing? And here it goes. I only have a few things in there, a few designs, a lot of different items. And so check that out. See if there's something you like. I ordered 2 of them, so I'll be wearing those when they come. So I'm even supporting my own show. Wow. How do you like that? I guess it's the least I could do. Oh, Mud Rabbit, you need to build an online store. You have no clue where to start. Well, this one, I ordered a couple shirts from it. I'm not sure. When I get the products, I'll check out the quality and how quick I get them. But Store Frontier is the name of the website, so check it out. They look like they do a pretty good job. We'll see. We'll see. I know that Teespring, I won't go back to them. They're called Spring now or something. But they deleted my shows. Never gave a reason. And, you know, I have listeners or, you know, subscribers that were requesting t-shirts. And I had those two stores and 3 stores, I think. I did make one sale with those, but then all of a sudden they were gone right when people wanted to order from it. So I tried and tried. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't restore it, and they would not let me add anything to my empty stores. So I don't know how that would ever work. I have a store with nothing in it. Please buy something. It's not going to work. So Spring, you're losing it, okay? You lost me. And if the quality of this stuff turns out to be good, you know, I'm going to push it hard. I'll push it hard. I'll buy more. I'll give them as gifts because I think it'd be cool to get people to wear like logo of the show. That'd be great. I do have a little bit of news. Gonna be having, hey, Dark Brain. Good to see you. Gonna be having my first guest back on again, and that is Corey Good. And we'll see if we can work that into more than just a one show type of deal and try to get something. It's the Invisa store. Yeah. Perfect outlet. Maybe that I was missing the opportunity. I could have been selling the Invisa mask on there. You're right. Hey, Jacob. How you doing, buddy? So Corey's going to be on again after his event, sometime after his event. And then this Sunday should be a statement from Andrew DiBisciago about the reason why the 23 shows we did were taken off of the public platform. So, hi, Diane Rain 1. Finally caught you live. Well, I'm glad that you did. I like that little smiley face. He looks pretty darn happy. Oh, I'm glad that you made it. I had to bring the dogs in before I went live, so otherwise it would have been a little earlier. So yeah, I'm watching the dogs for my son. It was supposed to be for a short period of time. It's getting longer and longer and longer, and it's going to come to some point where I might be putting a dogs for sale sign out front. You know what I mean? They're nice dogs. Don't get me wrong. But they appear on most of my videos now. And they weren't guests. They didn't call in. No. I like dogs, but yeah, Diane, she made it. So did I put a link? I think I did put a link in. If anyone wants to call in, maybe you had a sighting or some kind of an opinion on the non-disclosure that they're really rolling out no disclosure. Oh, we have some disclosure coming. Oh yeah, we're saying nothing again. We're going to make you wait a month or two, and then we're going to tell you nothing again. Ha ha. Yeah. It's not cutting it. That is not cutting it. We're going to believe the whistleblowers, and we're not going to believe the official people, because they're all bought and paid for. All the UFO experts you see on TV, they're just bought and paid for. They're disclosure disruptors. They're gatekeepers. And I think you know who I'm talking about. But then there's the independent people like yours truly, Jordan Sather, and a bunch of other people. Red Pill 78, Edge of Wonder, Journey to Truth. You know, lots of great shows out there, getting a lot of information out, providing entertainment too. You know, it's pretty darn cool. You know, folks, another way to support the channel here, if you're wanting to do so, I have, this is one of my inventions. These are the super cubes. Okay, this one's invisible because it's green. Same color as my green screen. But these are square super balls, and they bounce like crazy. Actually, they're made in America. They're made of the bounciest substance on the planet. And they're guaranteed to bounce different every time. You earn money back. Look at that. It's like a hole in my hand. You do magic tricks with these things if you have a green screen. It sees right through you. It's like my third eye. Ooh. And so these are crazy bouncing toys. And I have them in this Super Cube 6-pack. It looks kind of like this. And it comes with a little sheet with the games you can play. It's got 6 of them in there. And so, yeah. You can always buy these. I'll work up something for that. I'm also, exciting news, folks. Exciting news. I am working on a new product that you are going to be absolutely amazed with. Thanks, Jacob. I'm glad you like the shirts. You know, with doing this show with Andrew, we did 23 shows plus the 2 interviews I did. The 2 interviews are still on my channel, so please go and watch those if you're curious about this gentleman. Very credentialed guy, very honest guy. And he was in a lot of these secret programs with teleportation, time travel, whatnot. Well, he talks in such detail about these time travel devices that, yes, I went into my lab where I have my homemade electron microscope in my garage and everything else out there. And I am now putting the finishing touches on a real time machine that I will be able to sell at a reasonable price. So stay tuned, folks, because this product is coming out, and you're only going to find it here because I'm the inventor. And I'm telling you folks about it first. You're the first to hear about this. Actually, Mud Rabbit, Andrew's not going to be on Sunday afternoons anymore. So the show has been put on a hiatus for now. And we might be doing like 1 show a month now, but probably not a call-in show, which, you know, I'm kind of bummed about. But we just weren't getting, you know, we weren't getting a lot of, the whole idea of the show was so that people could call in and ask questions about these experiences that Andrew had with time travel, teleportation, remote viewing, Mars exploration, going to Mars, meeting all these people, Jim Morrison, so many, working directly under Howard Hughes after the point of which he should have been or was, publicly dead, but still working in secret in these top secret DARPA programs. But people weren't really asking about his experiences, which was the whole idea of the show. So it kind of was a bummer. I thought that. Oh, thank you, Diane Rain. Wow, a super chat. Thank you so much. Please say hello, Mama. Hello, Mama. Hello, Mama. Hello, Mama. Hello, Mama. Play Misty for me, baby. Something like that. Is that what you wanted me to say? or let me see. Okay, hold on a second. Rock and roll music, if you like it, and if you feel it, you can't help but move to it. That's what happens to me. I can't help it. I've tried standing still, and I can't do it. How was that? Okay. Yeah. Being Elvis is like the funnest thing to do, Very much fun. Oh, Color Fab is having keyboard troubles tonight. So yeah, the time machine that I'm building, the first prototype was very, very large, and as I talked to Andy, we talk a lot off air, and I get the finer points on these machines that he was exposed to. And I just, put that knowledge to work. And I have to tell you, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's going to blow you away. It's blowing me away. It's like, wow. So yeah, we could all have our own time machine. Wouldn't that be interesting? So stay tuned for more info on that. And thank you so much for that super chat. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Yes. Also, I'm all, in addition to helping Andy to get that e-site that for his vision, Andy's vision, to correct his vision. I'm also working on the artwork for 3 of his book covers. So I'll be able to show you that after he approves them. I think I'll get permission from him because I'm doing them for him. Because I'm an artist too. I don't know if you people know that, but I do artwork as well. And well, that's another thing I could sell is my children's books, The Popple and Popple's Place. If you have kids, yes, August 77. Yes, he did. The 16th of August, Diane. Yeah, he died on the 16th of August. And I remember when he died, I was very upset. And I think he was the first person who I felt close to that passed away. And it really affected me. And I wasn't old enough to drive yet. I just wanted to, I kind of wanted to go to Graceland. But I was living in Mound, Minnesota. Hey, Terry. And so I went down to the bus stop. I think I rode my bike down there. And I got on the bus. I just rode the bus into Minneapolis and just stayed on it and rode it all the way back. And I was just like looking out the window. I just couldn't believe it. It was very devastating. Oh, Jerry, yes, I showed the illustrated book. Yeah, Popple and Popple's Place. You know, maybe I can find the little pictures on my confuser here, my confuser. There they are. Popple and Popple's Place. Okay. And the inside of one of them. All right. Okay. Now we can do the screen share, I believe. Screen share. Okay. This is Popple. The Popple book. It's the first book in the series. There's 2 books. There's actually 10 books written, but I only did 2 of them. I started the 3rd one, but 2 of them are done. And Jeff Foxworthy endorsed them. Popple is about a little boy who lives on the edge of a forest, sits on a rock all day, has no friends. And he wanders into the woods to try to make some friends. He sees all these fanciful, friendly characters, but none of them want to be friend to a people. But in the end, the wise old owl, Ollie the owl, decides, you know what? He's not a people. He's a Popple. We can be friends with this boy. So they're all happy now. They got friends. And it's a great little story. And it's all written in rhyme. I illustrated it, and it's written by Judith C. Johnson of Green Bay. And Jeff Foxworthy endorsed them because they help at children's hospitals. So that's a nice thing about these books is, you know, we donated lots of these books to the children's hospitals. We did lots of demonstrations, readings, and art demos there for the kids. It was really, really fun. And really a lot of fun. Fun working on these things too. It was just a lot of fun drawing these things. And Disney donated the paper for the books. And Jeff Foxworthy agreed to be the voice of Ollie the Owl should Disney decide to do it as an animated feature, which they were considering at one point. I think they should. A lot of people have said it's their favorite book. A lot of kids have said, oh, that's my favorite book. Really? I mean, there's like a lot of really good children's books. And for any kid to say it's their favorite, it's like, wow, what an honor. But, you know, I put a lot of work into these illustrations. And as you can see, there's little bugs. There's at least one bug on each spread, each 2-page spread. This one has 2, and it's fun. You can point it out to the kids to find the bugs as you're going. But so yeah, that's kind of what the inside looks like. All done. I hand drew everything, and then scanned those drawings into the computer confuser and rendered them in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. So that's how we did that. Okay, screen sharing is closed. And I'm also working on, if there isn't enough things that I'm working on another thing too, is this movie, comic book movie idea. That Ridley Scott almost did, okay? Almost did. Years ago, he almost did this. Where is it? Is it showing up? I've got so many things on here, I can't even see it. I've got to close some of these out. Let me see if it's coming up here. There's a little bit of a delay when we do this show on Zoom. So let's see. There it is. Yeah. That's the movie Timex, or Time Warriors, a time traveling superhero fighting the evil Eric Thorne. Thanks, Jacob. Thank you for that super chat. You do it all, Aaron. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's Timex. Now, I built that suit in one night, and we filmed this little vignette to kind of outline the story for Ridley Scott. But then my boss would not let us show that to Ridley Scott. I think it would have made a big difference because we did it in one night. I mean, we built the suits and we shot the footage in one night. It was incredible. It was unbelievable. I had access to taxidermy foam, which you can sculpt with sandpaper, like 80 grit sandpaper, and made all the forms for the suit and vacuum formed them and painted them and affixed them onto a jacket and, you know, made the suit. I mean, it was pretty incredible. Yeah, it was going to be a great movie. Ridley Scott was looking at it, and it was incredible, because you got spaceships and dinosaurs and everything, you know, all at once coming at you. And the Timex, the guy who stumbles upon time travel by accident, was a toy and video game designer, just like myself. Toy designer like myself. Toys and games. So yeah. I also have a game I designed, really. It's an amazing game. It's called Tetragon 2. And if you like games like Othello or checkers or chess or Pente, Go, then you would really, really like Tetragon 2. It's a very cool game. And normally I don't say that things I do are great, but I don't really feel like I did that game because it kind of like just fell out of my head. It wasn't very hard. It just kind of like fell out and it just worked. And that just usually doesn't happen. So I think that was some kind of divine thing, because it's not easy to design a game and make it work and be fun. It's really, really hard to do. And this is truly a new and unique kind of strategy game, which was mentioned to me by Joseph Haber, a member of the Mensa Mind Games event, that in 2013, when they played the game, he thanked me personally, called me up and thanked me. Thanks, Divine Tiffany. Maybe I'll show you, this is, now this is like an early sort of a sketch for the comic book, okay? Where Timax goes back and, you know, accidentally brings back a little dinosaur with him, and he has to go bring it back so he doesn't upset the timeline. And so that's Timax with his little dinosaur. And when he brings it back, he's in for a big surprise, though, because the mama's not so happy. He needs to get out of there quick. And he did. He got out of there quick. But yeah, it was going to be great. Kenner was going to do the action figures, although I got to talk to a friend of mine for doing these action figures. I got to talk to my buddy Chuck Thunder. He's got a 3D printer that looks pretty good, the stuff he puts out. So yeah, he did the triangle head being, the bust, kind of like the mid chest up of the triangle head being. And if you watch Corey Good's videos, you can see it on the shelf in the background. It's kind of cool. So that's very, very cool. Well, thank you very much, Diane. Very creative and artistic. Oh yeah, Sopranos fan 11? Think so? About timelines? That could be, you know, one of the people that was in the programs with Andrew, William Brett Stillings. He was the youngest in the Mars Jump Room program. I think it was like 13 or 14 when he started up there. Very mechanically inclined, very smart guy. But he claims he's from a different timeline. He heard Andrew on the radio on Coast and Coast to Coast AM, and he said, I know that guy. And he remembered being in the Mars Jump Room program. He told Andrew about it. Andrew didn't remember it at first. He was amnestic because of they blank slated him. But he did get the memories back. But Brett says he's from a different timeline. I think I mentioned this on another program. But he claims the timeline he's from, the only one plane hit one of the Twin Towers. And it didn't fall. And he wants to get back to that timeline because he thinks that's a better timeline. Who knows? By now it might be worse, you know. Hello, Laura. Who else is around here? Lots of people. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Another person that I'm trying to get on the show that I interviewed before is Leslie Kane. She did a book called UFOs, Pilots, Generals, and Government Officials Go on the Record. Leslie Kane. It's a great book for beginners. If you have a friend that maybe doesn't believe UFOs, perfect first book for someone to read, to break them into it and get them used to the idea. Because remember, to the aliens, we are aliens. So if you don't believe in aliens, you don't believe in yourself. And we want you to believe in yourself because you're real. So are the aliens, just like us. They're just like us, only they're born in a different place, right? That's right. So, don't you agree? I would agree. You know, another thing that I got verified through Andrew's testimony was in one of the times we were talking, I mentioned the time I was out of my body and I experienced myself being a round ball where I could see in all directions simultaneously, like see in every direction as you're moving. And he verified, yes, the soul is round. It's the shape of it when you're out of the body. So that's really interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. I watched, quite frankly, tonight, but I missed the John Barber, but I got enough of your information that it sounded like it went off the rails a little bit. John Barber going a little bit left on everybody. But you know what? We need good people on the left too. We need good people on all sides. So just because they lean left doesn't mean they're all mixed up with the bad left people, you know, because there's a lot of people on the right that are really on the left. The right left thing is a misnomer. It's just like when I used to watch All-Star Wrestling, you know, they're out there, you know, claiming they hate each other, but they go to the same locker room, okay? They're getting dressed in the same locker room. And they're going to the same locker room after the fight. They're going out to dinner together, okay? And reading over the script for the next day. Oh, you're going to get me the turnbuckle. Oh, okay. I'm going to use the soft turnbuckle this time, okay? You know, go a little easy on me next time. It's all theater. Oh, you think he's close to losing his mind? Well, that could be. I mean, he's up there in age, right? John Barber. I mean, I've seen him on Red Pill a couple times. Very entertaining most of the time. But yeah, you know, when Andrew would talk about, you know, he's going to run as a Democrat, you know, some people would say, you know, well, they didn't want to hear that, but we need good Democrats. If we could get good Democrats to replace all the bad Democrats, then we'd have a much better country. You know, need to, good and bad is on all sides. I mean, I really wish they would just do away with all the parties. Vote for people with ideas and not parties with dogma, because it's just dogma to me. Well, so pro wrestling is fixed. Yeah. Terry. You didn't know that? Well, they had to actually admit it a few years back, actually, well, maybe a decade or so ago. They had to actually admit it. Yes, it's entertainment. I know, Terry Hopper, you are what do they call them? A zebra, right? You're a referee. I think maybe you're the time referee. Maybe you're the referee of the timeline. Think about that. Maybe you're the timeline ref. Maybe that's your destiny. You're in the ring there. You're in the ring. What did you say? Your elevator pitch. I read that today. It was so funny. Elevator pitch for what you do. Hey, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm in a ring with two people doing amazing physical feats while I try hard to make real funny and interesting and bizarre facial expressions. And you showed a picture of yourself. That was hilarious. I like that. Yeah, I bet sometimes you get caught in the middle of those guys running around to each other, huh? Slamming into each other. But yeah, I have a couple friends who are really into wrestling, and you know they were actually put into one of the little things they were going to do, all pre-planned. So they said, okay, yeah, we're going to come in the audience. You're going to say this, and we're going to, you know, and they did it, and it went off really well, and they had a lot of fun, and it was like a big thing for them. So that's very, very cool. Wrestling's not fake. You know, I grew up in the kind of the renaissance of wrestling in the 70s and 80s, like with great, great wrestlers like the Crusher, the Claw, Baron von Raschke, right? Um, Ivan Padutsky. I mean, you had Jesse the Body Ventura with his 22-inch biceps, which, you know, my dad's biceps were bigger than that. You know, he worked with metal all day. So, oh, Kelly George, your dad was getting into pro wrestling, local level, until he got drafted. WW2. Wow. Yeah, I grew up in Mound, Minnesota, which was the home of Vern Gagne, who was the Minneapolis world champion, and his son, Greg Gagne, and Jim Bronzell, the, what were they called? The something Flyers. I can't remember what they were called. But they were the tag team champions. Imagine that. Your father owns the wrestling association. He's the um, world wrestling champion in Minneapolis because each town had their own world champion, right? But Mound was where they had their camp, like they'd train wrestlers there, you know. And I had the great pleasure of meeting Vern Gagne on his property, the very property in Mound, Minnesota, or just outside of Mound, where he was being kicked off of his property. He brought all kinds of fame and notoriety to the town. He even bought the bells for the Catholic Church, beautiful big bells. And they kicked him off his property for the deer. This is a habitat. It's like, wow. And I wanted to buy this 2-drawer file cabinet, but it wouldn't open. It was locked. He wouldn't sell it. He tried to sell me. I got a bunch of pamphlets, you know, old vintage pamphlets like Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan when he first started out with the AWA, the American Wrestling Association. And boy, the Crusher was just funny. He was from Milwaukee, right? And he would strap an 8-gallon keg to his back and run till it was empty. That was his workout. Okay. So the Crusher. And I believe they even have a statue of him in Milwaukee. So when next time you're in Milwaukee, make sure you check that out. Roller derby is big, huh? Yeah. Yeah, Andre the Giant, he was something else, huh? Wow, such a big guy. Um, all those, they were so colorful, you know? And I remember going to the drive-in theater, to the Navarre Drive-In Theater, Navarre, Minnesota. It was Navarre from where we lived. And it doesn't exist anymore. There is a movie theater out here not far from where I am, up in Fish Creek. I live in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Fish Creek, Wisconsin. They have, I think it's called a Skyliner or something like that. It's from the 50s. And they have a real butter melter for real butter on the popcorn. And they have like a swing set and a little chair, like benches. You could sit like and watch it like a big screen thing. And it's fabulous. Maybe someday I'll get to go there again if I ever, you know, find someone to go with me. Of course, movies these days, I don't know. I'll tell you a funny story. I took my kids there when they were young, a lot younger, very young. And it was so cool because they were playing Grease, right? And so we were up front, like sitting on the little benches watching this big screen outdoor thing. And there's a set, swing set right next to us. And there's that part in Grease where they show the, stranded at the drive-in. He's on the swing set. He's all depressed because she left him. And my kids go, "Hey, Dad, that was filmed here," because they pointed at the swing set. I'm like, wow. They were so impressed by that. And then, like, about a week later, my daughter goes, "Hey, Daddy, can we go back and watch that big outdoor TV again?" It was so cute. She was like 3. So cute. But yeah, that was... yeah. So at the Navarre Drive-In, I remember going there. I think it was in my dad's 56 Chevy convertible that he restored. He also restored a 57 Chevy. We went to the drive-in movie with this 56, a gold 56, gold metal flake, 56 Chevy, 2-door sedan, I think. And maybe it was a hardtop. No, it was a convertible, white top. Boy, my dad did a lot of work on that. And we took it out to the drive-in theater and we watched The Wrestler, which was the first wrestling movie, which was done by none other than Vern Gagne. So the AWA. So that was the first wrestling movie. It was the AWA, Vern Gagne and Greg Gagne and all the whole gang there. So if you're interested in looking up that, look into that. That's what started it all. But great memory at the drive-in theater, Navarre Drive-In in Minnesota. And oh boy, I'll never forget the dates that go wrong. The dates that go wrong when you ask a girl out to the drive-in movie and it doesn't quite go very well. Like, I asked this one girl out and she would only go out to a drive-in with me if she could bring her friend with. So, okay, brought her friend with too. And her friend's boyfriend was at the drive-in. He saw his girlfriend in my car. He starts throwing ice at my car. That didn't work out so well. Yeah. And that was in my 60 Rambler. It was a very cool car, 1960 Rambler, push-button transmission. It was called the Ratmobile. And I got to pull that up here too, folks, because I can't talk about the Ratmobile and not bring it up here. In the big show here, okay? Okay, now These pictures I'm going to show you are from a Polaroid, an old Polaroid, all right? And so it's kind of cracked, okay? So please excuse the cracking, but this is the famous Ratmobile. Yes, there it is in all its glory. A 1960 Rambler with flames, lightning bolts, murals, you name it, dingle balls, the whole 9 yards. Yes, this car had it all. And it was only 40 bucks, so he couldn't beat it for the price. It's my first drivable car. It cost 40 bucks. I put a battery in it, started right up. Oh. And all right, where's the other one? Where did it go? Uh-oh. It went bye-bye. Oh, here's something I can show you. This is a rendering I did years ago for a product I designed. It was a die-cut rubber bracelet. It was made out of floor matting. It was a really cool material. It had ribs. Sometimes had like points on it, but they were rubber and they interlocked, and they were mainly black and white. So there's white ones and black ones. And so I did this little robot rendering. This is before I added the blue for the chrome look. So it's kind of unfinished. But yeah, that's product design for a jewelry item that I designed many years ago. Many, many years ago. Yeah. And here's another view of the Ratmobile that I'm going to show you here. This is from a different angle. It's from the back, kind of. And you can see the lightning bolts, very grease influenced. And you can see the fun fur in there. There's fun fur in the dash, in the back windows. There's dingle balls all around the inside. Murals on the side here. And yeah, it's a fun, fun car. That car was driving around in Minnesota like that in the summer of 1978. Yes, the summer rat, 78. And after that, the engine started on fire, along with the hair on my face. And so after that happened, it was like, well, you know, it kind of blew up in my face. So I kind of got rid of it. So, and it wouldn't start again after that. So, but it was a good summer car, my first little car. And I probably put more time in painting it than I did driving. But yeah, fun car, fun car. Not very fast. It was an economy car. It was an economy car, but fun, fun car. If you folks have ever been in a Rambler, they're kind of cool little cars. Mag wheels, yes, I had 2 mag wheels. The back had mag wheels. The front had the hubcaps because I found these cool mags, but there was only 2 of them. So the Holley sticker, yes, it had a Holley single barrel carburetor from the factory. It had a Holley carburetor already on it, so I put the Holley sticker on there. I also put the RAT on the post there because you know, we were like reading hot rod magazines all the time. And if someone said, yeah, my car has a rat engine in it, that meant a large block Chevy engine. So I thought by putting rat on my car, people would think, oh, he's got a big block Chevy engine in there. And I'd like fake people out. But nobody thought that. They just called it the Ratmobile. And he called me the Rat Man. I didn't want to be known as the Rat Man, but it was kind of cool after a while, you know. Okay, I'm the Rat Man. Not a title I would choose, but it was kind of fun. Oh, Salabor says, my first car was a 77 Cutlass Supreme. First thing I did was have cargo springs installed, so it was jacked up real high. All right. Yeah. The opposite of a lowrider, right? You get that rake look. Oh. Yeah, something else. Yeah, my first car was a 1934 Chevrolet, 5-window coupe. Oh my goodness, Sandy Sue. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see what she has to say. I had a Rambler too, about the same year. Was a red one named Blossom. That's so cute. Everyone names their Rambler. That's so awesome. I'll send you a pic of it when I get things unpacked. I'll miss the Sunday show. I'll miss them too. You know, we talked about maybe doing a show a month, but it's going to be more like an interview type of a show, like the first two shows. I think we'll get more information that way about, you know, his experiences. Because a lot of times on those shows, I didn't have time to ask my questions. So I have still lots of questions about all that. And so, yeah, I look forward to seeing exactly what Andrew has to say. I sure had a great time interviewing him and doing that show with him. It was a pleasure. And it was so nice to get to know the gentleman. You know, we talked a lot, and he's just a really super nice guy, folks. He's just like stellar. He's a very, very cool guy. And if he wants to be a Democrat, then that'd be a good Democrat. Okay. So I think that's fantastic. Oh, you read cartoons. Oh, I love that magazine. In fact, one of the artists did one of those of my brother. And you can see that in one of my, I think the Mark's Garage 2.5. It's a slideshow, and you'll see in there, I think, yeah, on his wall, he has a big blow up of a black and white rendering. I think by the same guy that did the Cars magazine, those cartoon cars. I love that. That's so awesome. And I've done some drawings like that too. In fact, I did a drawing of my dad for a Father's Day card once in his Fiero. He was like in his Fiero, and he always told us kids, because he was a tool and die maker, worked with plastics a lot, making dies and tool and molds for plastic parts. And he said, mark my words, kids, one day there will be an all plastic car. And when the Fiero came out, which was an all plastic bodied car, never rust or dent, he was the first person in Minnesota to own one. So he was so glad to get that. And that's awesome. Das Volt, the Little Nash Rambler, the Playmates, 1958, the Playmates. Oh, that's a song. Yeah, Little Nash Rambler. That's a great song. Actually, and you know, the Rambler, you know, there's one here in town. And now, I was out at my folks' house to deal with my father passing. And on the way out to my folks' house, there's a car just like my car, my first car, the Ratmobile. And it's in someone's driveway. It's all painted flat black. It looks like a rat rod. It's a runner. It's a daily runner. And I went, wow. Then I come back here, and just last night, there's this car. It's a 61 Rambler for sale. It's like, wow, should I get it? Should I get it? Should there be a Rambler Ratmobile Part 2? Could be. Fieros sure burned easily, though. Yeah, you know why they burned? And I had my engine start on fire too. And while I was driving, it was kind of scary, but I pulled over, put it out, and it was fine. The problem is that the engines get so hot. It was the Iron Duke, okay? That's the engine they put in. Very reliable engine. Although, when they get older, they leak a little oil, okay? They use a little oil. And they found after studying this problem with the cars starting on fire, they found out that the Fiero was sold equally to men and women, 50% men, 50% women, okay? And a lot of the women and some of the men did not check the oil often enough, and it got lost enough oil where it overheated. And since the engine was behind the driver, didn't see the smoke coming from the engine to turn it off in time. So they said they would literally have to have relocated the engine into the front, which would have ruined the whole ride and the whole idea of the car. The car, you know, it wasn't designed to be initially a hot rod car or a performance car. It was designed to be a commuter car. Excuse me, to just, you know, drive to work and back because it got 42 miles to the gallon. That's what it was. That was the original idea. It was going to be like the job runner. To run this, you know, you got just, it's just you driving to work every day. No need to have a bunch of empty seats going back and forth. But when design took a hold of it, they said, oh, a two-seater, mid-engine, rear engine? Whoa, let's make it a wedge. Let's make it look fast. And then everyone went, wait, hey, this looks like a hot rod. How come it's not going fast? Then they had to stick the six-cylinder in. But it wasn't really designed for that weight. But they redesigned it. When they finally came out with it, all redesigned for the correct weight and everything, it was too late because Toyota had a car that was less insurance and was faster, and it's too bad. You know, when I had my Fiero, when I was living out in Rhode Island, I was paying $3,090 a year for insurance. So I was actually paying more for my insurance than I was for my car payment on my one-year-old car or half-a-year-old. But I moved to Massachusetts, which I call nasty Trushits. And it went down to like 1,500, but still too much. It was a sports car insurance rating, even though it wasn't fast like a sports car. But since it looked like a sports car, they treated it as such. Yeah, it makes sense not seeing the smoke. Yeah. I wrote a song in 1986 called The Rambler about cruising. I got nowhere to go. I'm cruising slow. That's cool. You know, there's a song by Gene Vincent called Cruisin'. Cruising, looking for my gal, I'm cruising, going nowhere, I'm cruising. Oh, to find my gal, I'm cruising for, fight that man, her, we'll have two nights, something like that. It's a very cool song. I can't do it justice, but look it up. Cruisin' by Gene Vincent and his Blue Caps from 1957. So Cruisin', great, great song. Cruising for my date. I hope I find her before it's way too late. That's very cool. That 1986 song sounds pretty cool too. Rambler about cruising. Yeah, the Rambler. You know what's really weird? When I had my Rambler, actually I had like a number of Ramblers. I got this 1964 Rambler from this kid who got it from his grandma. And he didn't want it because it wasn't a fast car, but it was champagne pink. It was gorgeous. It was a beautiful car. And I worked with a guy, Guy Cassidy was he went to Art Center. That's where most of the car designers come from. He worked with him at Hasbro. He could draw any car, sketch it out. I'll post some of his drawings sometimes. Fabulous stuff. But yeah, he had an AMX, pretty cool car. But so I had a number of Ramblers, and I had this 64 Rambler, champagne pink. And so Guy Cassidy always said that back in the day, if you wanted to know what the next year's Mercedes was going to look like, look at this year's Rambler. Think about that. So I was driving in Spring Park, Minnesota, next to Mound, where I grew up, in my pink, champagne pink, 27,000 actual miles on my 64 Rambler. When was this? Gosh, I can't remember when it was. Sometime in the big 80s. And it was just gorgeous. There wasn't a speck of rust on it. The interior was immaculate. It was this beautiful champagne pink. Had this very straight, modern design. And this guy, my car stops at this stop sign, and I had to get out and pull the hood up because it just stopped on me. And this guy pulls up behind me in a brand new Mercedes. And he comes up, he goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know, it just stopped." He goes, "Wow." He steps back, looks at it, he goes, "Wow, what year Mercedes is this?" I said, "Well, it's not a Mercedes, it's a 64 Rambler." And he turned around, he got in his car, and he took off. He didn't care about it anymore, even though it was what the next year Mercedes was going to look like. They were copying America's first economy car for a luxury car. Think about that. But yeah, the Rambler was an interesting car. Now the Nash Rambler, I think it came out in 48. Maybe the car experts in the audience will correct me if I'm wrong, but they were the first American car to be unibody construction back in 1948. The rest of the car companies, the Chryslers and Fords and the Chevys and Buicks and Dodges and all that, they didn't start doing unibody until what? The late 70s, 80s? And so my 60 Rambler, was unibody, no frame. And I got a dent in it once. I got a dent. Someone hit me really hard in the side. It really crashed up their car, put a small dent in my car. I took a dent puller. I broke the dent puller. The dent wouldn't come out because the metal was so thick. It was like this thick. It was like a tank. It was built like a tank. You need to drill the hole through it to get the forever. So you want a solid car? Get yourself an old Rambler. Okay. The 80s were awesome. Yeah. The 80s were like the second 50s because thin ties were in. When are thin ties going to come back? Well, I wear thin ties. Hate to tell you, but I'm bringing them back. Oh, Kelly George, yes, I had a bad accident, and because it was a stick, I didn't get hurt too bad. Trooper was amazed that I was upright. Oh, really? So, yeah, my Rambler was a push button transmission. It was on the left side. And you had to pull this thing under the dash for the park. Park is a pull thing. And you push the buttons and they'd light up when you turn the lights on. I think it was because that was the years that AMC, American Motors Corporation, that made Rambler, they were getting their drivetrains from the Chrysler Corporation, Dodge. And they're the ones that pioneered the push button transmission. And it was cool because you could push neutral, vroom, 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 rev it up, vroom, vroom, then push drive, and you get a little squeak. Not much. Not too much. No. Had about 240,000 miles when it finally gave in. But it didn't even have, my Rambler did not even have a oil filter. Those were optional. I went to go change the oil and like, where's the oil filter? And I looked at the manual because still the manual is like, oh, it's optional. There was a plate. So I checked the oil. It's like, oh, should there really be these chunks of metal in here? Can't be too good. But I burned a quart of oil a day, whether I drove it or not, because it also leaked. So, yeah, that was something else. Something else, folks. Always fun to talk about the first car, right? The first car. Oil filter optional. Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. And I had a friend, David Skochansky, who worked at Shakin' Stevens. Yeah, Shakin' Stevens, Stray Cats. Yeah, and there was one other group too. The Blasters. The Blasters. Look the Blasters up. And Shakin' Stevens, man, he was rocking. He was really big in Europe, in England. I had one of his albums here, but I don't think too many people around here knew about him. Mostly in Europe. Stray Cats. I'll tell you a story about Stray Cats. I was in my apartment in Hopkins, Minnesota, when I was drawing and listening to the radio. I was drawing something. I had a nice drawing desk. I was drawing something. And I was listening to the radio and they said, hey, here's a new band, the Stray Cats. Rock this town. And it go jing, 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 jing. I went, whoa, someone's doing it. Someone's doing rockabilly. Oh my God. And I was freaking out. I was like, what? And I got in my car. I took off out of my apartment, got in my car, zipped on down. I was living in Hopkins, Minnesota, near Highway 7, crossed Highway 7 over to the Knollwood Plaza. You might know where that is, in Hopkins, near St. Louis Park. And there was a record store at the time there. And I rushed into the record store. I was so excited because I grew up listening to 45s from the 50s. And I thought that was so much better than the crap I was listening to on the radio. It was so much better. Rockabilly is just so high energy, so cool, so fresh, crisp, fun. Nothing like it. And when the Stray Cats came out, it made before the first verse was over, I was out in my car cruising on down there. Well, I picked up the record because I remembered hearing what their name was. Got the record. I'm standing behind one person at the checkout. I'm listening to the radio. They're playing the same station and the song's still playing. I paid for the record before the song was up. I went home and I listened to that record over and over again, and I poured over every song on it. And I researched every song on it and discovered that some of them were not written by the Stray Cats. Some of them were actually written by this character, Eddie Cochran, which sent me on another rabbit hole. And I discovered Eddie Cochran, and Eddie Cochran rocks. Let me tell you, nobody does rocking like Eddie Cochran. Okay. Look up Eddie Cochran and you will be amazed. My band played Rock This Town on my channel. Oh, cool. Oh, I got to check that out. Yes, they do swing too. Yes, Diane. Yes, they do. Um, but so Eddie Cochran had the same exact guitar as what the Stray Cats used, Brian Setzer. And in fact, when Brian Setzer when he first saw that a guitar like the one he had before he had his, it was actually a record that was on the wall at the record store, and he's looking up and he goes, "Whoa, what kind of guitar is that?" He goes, "That's a 1620 Gretsch, I think." And he goes, "Wow, I got to get a guitar like that." And it was an Eddie Cochran album. And so he found one of those guitars in New York City. He was living in New York City. That's where he grew up, I believe, Brian Setzer. And it was all in parts. He put it together, and that is the guitar that he did Rock This Town, Stray Cat Strut, and all these other great songs. Same guitar, exact same model that Eddie Cochran had, which he made that famous with all of his big hits, Summertime Blues, lots of really cool tunes. So check out Eddie Cochran. Nobody does rockin' like Eddie Cochran, and you're gonna love him. Sadly, he died at age 21 in England of a car crash. He had just recently had his palm read. He was doing a 3-month tour in England, which is still revered as the biggest rock event ever, which was his 3-month tour in England, in Europe. And so just to give you an idea of the influence that Eddie Cochran had, when Paul McCartney approached John Lennon to be in his band, Lennon said, "You can be in the band only if you can play 20 Flight Rock by Eddie Cochran and know all the words." And he did. And he frequently plays that song at his venues, even today. So is he the real Paul McCartney? Oh no. There's another mystery for you. Traveling Wilburys, Rattled. Yes, that was that was really something else. You know, Roy Orbison and who else was in there? Oh, you mentioned the Traveling Wilburys. Yes. Jeff Lynne. And Roy Orbison, and who else? Oh yeah, Old Green Teeth. What was his name? Bob Dylan. And Tom Petty. Yeah. We would drag Maine, and I would record songs from my radio on my cassette player. Still have them too. Oh, cool, Sandy Sue. Yeah, boy, all the hours I spent making party tapes. You know, oh, I'll have this forever, right? Dolby sound reduction. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I came up with a kind of a snappy term, or you know, groovy like a record. I came up with this like about a week before CDs came out. Of course, now records are making a comeback, so groovy like a record. Still going to make that happen. George Harrison, yes, and George Harrison, yeah, and sadly, you know, a lot of those people are dead now. But good thing that they did that. You know how they did that? I mean, I think it was Tom Petty, George Harrison, and I think all of them were like, they got together and they went to this Roy Orbison concert. And they were like, wow, his voice is still so good. This is incredible. We should do something with him. And then boom, they did it. And the magic happened. I mean, they were huge. They had some really big hits. And not just one hit. I think that music was very well produced too. I mean, the sound was incredible. Whoever produced it was doing a fantastic job. Yes, I did say that on Frank. Yes, I did. See, I'm trying to get that used, right? Groovy like a record. That's a groovy saying. Yeah, I never liked groovy, but groovy like a record's kind of cool. You know, when I was a kid, I think I told this before too, when we talked about records before. But if you take a record player and you take like a straight pin, like when you buy a shirt and you take the pins out, you take a straight pin and you tape a cone of paper to it, like coming down to a point, and tape it really carefully to the pin, and you hold it by like where the tape is, and you hold it on a record when it's going around, you'll actually hear the sound coming out of the paper cone. And it actually works. And so that's a fun thing to do if you have a record player and a record that you don't care that gets wrecked, because it kind of wrecks the record. There was a hit in Frank's chat. They all liked it. Oh, good. You know, a lot of times I have to say, I'm not the best chat watcher. Sometimes I like, oh yeah, I forgot about the chat. 2 a.m. I'm signing off. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's 2 a.m. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. here. Yeah, maybe I should sign off too, folks. We're getting a little off the rail here. I want to thank everybody. Oh, we have 17 people watching. That's a great number. And thank you all for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much for all the super chats. That helps to keep the lights on here. And also, I have a Rumble account too, which I'm uploading all of my shows to. And here's my little Rumble account. I got like 52 people on there so far. So I'll be eventually doing some live streams on there too, I believe, once I get a few more people over there. Your nephew stole all your albums and 45s when you were in the Navy. Oh, really, Diane? Wow. Maybe you can get them back. Oh, thank you, Dark Brain. I appreciate it. And thank you. I really appreciate you too, Dark Brain and Mud Rabbit. Excuse me. You guys are the best mods ever. You're like the mod squad. There's another groovy like a record saying. You guys are groovy like a record. Yeah, we got a bunch of 45s in a box when we were moving behind a store, and the guy said, oh, we're throwing those out. We got tapes now. You can take them. So a lot of Elvis, Buddy Holly, Ricky Nelson, Little Richard. Oh, I love those Little Richard songs. And Chuck Berry. Wow. Thanks, Dark Brain. It was such fun to be with you all too. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for coming here and sharing time with me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, peace in.